in short, what this employer is saying that an employee went off sick. It later appeared that the employee during that time, she was in fact pregnant and she gave birth to a child. Now, the employer later established that during that period of her absence, she introduced a sick certificate, but it was for giving birth. What is the difficulty here?
Yeah.
For the employer or for the employee?
Yeah, so the difficulty is that in effect, the employee was dishonest. And you can, to some extent...
I think the employee just needed the money and she wanted...
I understand that, but unfortunately, the law is quite clear on this. If an employee is pregnant, she needs to go on maternity leave at least 4 weeks before the time and stay off at least 6 weeks after birth, unless a medical practitioner says she's fit to return to work. The problem with not disclosing that or giving a different reason to the employer is that there are certain obligations in terms of both the Labour Relations Act and the Occupational Health and Safety Act on how to treat pregnant employees and how to safeguard them, how to not expose them to hazardous materials. And the employer needs to know that she's pregnant in order to keep her safe at the workplace, effectively. So her dishonesty by lying to the employer actually placed the employer at a peril because he could not comply with his obligations in terms of the Act. So it's actually a very serious misconduct in my view.
But, seeing it from the side of the employer, you didn't know. If you don't know, you don't know. If you're an employer and employee does that and she says to you, sir, I did that because I cannot afford that period of absenteeism inter alia because the UIF, the unemployment insurance, they're not functioning. I needed the money, that's why I worked.
Yeah, that will all be mitigating circumstances that the employer can take into account. But it does not excuse the conduct of being dishonest and placing the employer at a peril.
Yeah,
and herself for that matter.
Yeah.